Hello and welcome to That's Football. Alex Sandro to Manchester United is effectively a done deal at the end of the season. It's in the Times, it's from Duncan Castles, who is very, very close to Jose Mourinho. Apparently he's his voice man in the media. He has been right quite a lot of times. Is he going to be right about Alex Sandro? And I think there'll be a lot of Manchester United fans who'll be quite excited by that if it's true. Myself, funnily enough, I don't think Luke Shaw is going to leave Manchester United unless he pushes it. I think United are happy to keep him, but if he pushes it, I think he will go. Maybe he's had enough of Mourinho. Maybe Manchester United have sorted this Alex Sandro deal out because of that. Probably going to be about £50 million. We know that Sandro wants to leave Juventus. I think he's 27 at the moment, so he sort of fits perfectly what Mourinho would want. An established, experienced left-back who can provide balance to that left-hand side. Very, very good. Arguably, behind Marcelo, probably the best left-back in European football at the moment. And if United can acquire a player like that, with all due respect to Ashley Young, it would be a massive, massive improvement for Manchester United. So that is apparently going to happen at the end of the Italian season, which will coincide with the start of the Premier League transfer window opening, which I believe opens a week on... was it a week yesterday? I don't know. I think it might open up an FA Cup final day. So Alex Sandro to Manchester United is looking very, very likely. What do you think about that, Manchester United fans? I'm a Manchester United fan myself. I think I do think that Luke Shaw could do a job, and I still think that Luke Shaw will be at United next season if he wants to be. But is he ready to be first choice left back at Manchester United? Possibly not. Does Mourinho want to put that development in? Obviously not. And Alex Sandro can just come in next season and start. Now, he might flop. I'm not going to say he's definitely going to do well. Premier League from Serie A, as we've seen with Pogba and many Italian defenders, is a struggle. But he's Brazilian. Mourinho likes that Brazilian mentality. He likes to get forward. I think he's around 6 foot, Alex Sandro, as well. So he's got a good bit of height about him. Experienced at high-end football. I think it's a good signing. And if that was the Brazilian that Manchester United brought in, I think most Manchester United fans would be very, very happy with that. Sabatashi says, can Sandro cross? Yes, he can. And what's going to happen to Ashley Young, says Faison? Well, I think he would become the deputy left-back, wouldn't he? Which I think most people would be quite happy with that. And GGZ2, nobody's pretending anything, mate. In fact, if you listen to the first few minutes of the show, you would know that we will always shout out where the sources come from, so you can leave the channel for good. Don't need any of that sort of negativity. As I said, this Alex Sandro done deal is apparently from Duncan Castles. It's been in the Sunday Times in the UK, and Duncan Castles is apparently very, very close to Jose Mourinho. He's saying that the deal is very advanced and should be completed at the end of the season, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Amri says, Shaw, Sandro and Young, 3 doesn't fit into 1 will go. As I said last night on the United Stand, I think United do want to keep Ashley Young, but I do think it also comes down to the fact that, will Luke Shaw want to stay? I said that last night. Will Luke Shaw want to stay at Manchester United? Because if he doesn't want to stay, problems with the lighting here. If he doesn't want to stay because of the way he's been treated by Jose Mourinho, then he will go. And then Manchester United will be forced into a signing. The next one I'll talk about is Neymar. Neymar, this is in the Sunday Mirror. I'm going to dispel this one straight away. Sunday Mirror saying that Manchester United are battling with Real Madrid to sign Neymar, another Brazilian from PSG. However, Damarcio put something out, I think late last night, early this morning, a quote from the PSG, I think it was their chairman, saying 2,000% he will stay at PSG. I personally think he's going to stay at PSG now. I thought there was potentially a chance of him going to Real Madrid, an outside chance of him coming to Manchester United. I fully expect him to stay at PSG for another year now. I think people can sort of park those Neymar rumours. It's not definitely over, but I don't expect him to do that. On the Arsenal manager's job, I heard yesterday that Allegri's a done deal. There's a lot of done deals out there at the moment, isn't there? Allegri to Arsenal is not a done deal. Allegri to Arsenal manager is highly, highly unlikely. Rui Faria left Manchester United yesterday. Could he go there? Arteta, Thierry Henry. There are options out there, but the Sunday Express have said that Unai Emery, who's at PSG, is likely to go to Arsenal. Again, I would say that is absolutely nonsense, and if you are an Arsenal fan, you would want to avoid that like the plague. Arsenal, that is not the sort of manager they should be going with. But the Sun are saying that Allegri, who had said there, I don't think he will be the manager, wants a £200 million transfer kitty if he's going to become the new boss. To be fair to whoever's going to be Arsenal's manager next season, I would want at least £200 million as well. Liverpool are considering reporting Borussia Mönchengladbach for an illegal approach to their under-17 World Cup winner Ryan Brewster. Read that yesterday, 18. Apparently he's looking to go to Germany. Remember, was it Jordan Sancho or Man City? I forget his name. He went there as well. You can't argue with youngsters going abroad to get some first-team football. You cannot argue it, and not enough of them getting it in the English game. And Rooney still not decided whether he's going to America or not. That's meant to be to do with Sam Allardyce. Wilfried Zaha is close to a £50 million move to Manchester City, according to the Mirror. Previously played for Manchester United. I'll be very surprised if Zaha was going to Manchester City, but I think that would be very exciting. He's never going to come back to Manchester United, but I'd be very, very excited if he went to Manchester City from a neutral point of view, because I thought Spurs would be his ceiling. I like Zaha, but I think he's just a good Premier League player. I don't think he's a top 4 player, but if Pep's seen something in him, that would be very interesting if he went there. Manchester United's keeper thinks he has had the best season of his career, David De Gea. That was in the Manchester Evening News. Well, Player of the Year again. And Liverpool will have to pay around $52.75 million for Naby Keita after his side qualified for the Europa League. So that was based on where RB Leipzig were going to finish in the league as to how much they were going to have to pay for Naby Keita. Juventus are set to confirm the signing of Emre Can, which a Liverpool midfielder, after the Champions League final. I think many people have known that he was going to go there. Declared himself not fit, basically, for the rest of Liverpool's season. And Atletico Madrid coach Diego Simeone says he hopes Slovenian 25-year-old goalkeeper Jan Oblak, who he describes as one of the best goalkeepers in the world, stays with the club next season. I certainly think there will be strong interest for Oblak from clubs around England. Certainly maybe Chelsea if Courtois goes to Real Madrid, and certainly Arsenal with Cech ageing. Very, very good keeper, Jan Oblak. But let's go back to the opening story, Alex Sandro. Alex Sandro wants to leave Juventus. Duncan Castles, the journalist who apparently is very close to Mourinho, is coming out and saying that this is in very advanced stage and is expected to be signed at the end of the season to Manchester United. What are Alex Sandro's options other than Juventus? Because I think, like I was talking about Dybala on the United stand last night, so many titles won in Juventus in Italy, so many cup doubles, that the careers where they are for both Dybala and Sandro, more urgently probably for Sandro because of his age, is that staying at Juventus is all fine and well, but they're an ageing team. They're not going to win the Champions League, I don't think, anytime in the next couple of years. And also, it's a big payday to move off and take on another challenge. Where could Sandro go? Real Madrid won't want him. They've got Marcelo. I don't think Barcelona would want him. So then you're looking at other leagues and other big clubs. PSG is an option, but I don't think that would necessarily suit him. You're left with the Premier League. Chelsea were always linked to him, but Alonso's one of their best players. Arsenal, forget that. Why go to a mid-table club? Liverpool? Well, Liverpool probably do need a left-back, but then again, Robertson's been fantastic this season. Manchester City don't need a left-back. Spurs don't need a left-back. Manchester United is going to be the obvious place for Alex Sandro to come. So I think it's probably going to happen. But we're into that season now, aren't we? We are into that season where you're going to get stories coming up here, now and everywhere. So remember, subscribe to That's Football and get your notifications on with the bell, because we will go live like we normally are, live midday Monday to Friday, but we will go live if there's big news in the world of transfers around. And remember, we've got you covered for World Cup games, Champions League final, everything on That's Football Watch Along. So get involved with the channel. Everybody is welcome, no matter who you support. What time are you doing career mode, says Kieran? Well, it's a busy day today, Kieran, because we've got the final game of the season in the Premier League for Manchester United, and that starts at 2 o'clock on the United stand. I might do FIFA career around 1 o'clock, see if I can fit it in, but it's going to be tight today, to be fair. United need Sandro, says Michael Jones. Why would Jose want Sandro when he said Young can play 50 games, says Kingdom FX. Look, if it's Young or Sandro, it's Sandro every day of the week. Any news on the manager coming and going, says Christopher White. And Robertson is good, to be fair, says EMH Gaming. Exactly, I can't see where he's going to go. Manchester City need nothing, says Brad Culler, but they're greedy, so they will get something, I would have thought. And do you think Sandro's a good signing, says Aya? I like Alex Sandro. I've been on about Alex Sandro for about 2 years. I remember saying I thought he was fantastic in the Champions League final last year against Real Madrid. I know they lost, but I really do like him. And I didn't necessarily think he was an option for Manchester United, to be honest, because I always believed that Luke Shaw would be the left-back that we needed. But that's sort of not happened. And if it's not going to happen and we're going to sign a left back, Alex Sandro would be my first choice for Manchester United as a Manchester United fan. I don't rate Danny Rose. And I think there are other left-back options out there that could be good, but you may as well go for the best. And he fits a lot of the criteria that Jose Mourinho would want. Anyway, Pankaj says, is Duncan Castles reliable? Can you trust him? Can you trust any journalist? The reality is Duncan Castles has always had this reputation, even before Mourinho was at Manchester United, of having close links to Mourinho. Now, he is wrong, but he's also right. He was right about Matic about a month before that signing happened in the summer. So he has been right about things in the past, and he could be right again. Let's wait and see. We won't have to wait long. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Please do drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. That's Football is the channel for everybody to get involved, interactive with you. We've got some really good shows that we're going to break out over the next couple of weeks. Skype call-ins, loads going on. So subscribe, get involved. You're very welcome. And a big summer ahead on this channel with the World Cup. I can't wait for the World Cup watch-alongs, loads of things going on. Speak to you all soon.